Alright, I got a match here against XSquareStickit, and I have no clue idea what that means. So he sends out a toaster, and I send out Ventisca because it's like the best Pokemon ever. And he gets confused because he thinks that toasters toast toast, but they actually toast bread. So I juggle him with electricity, and that powers him up enough so he can try and toast me. And I just remembered that Frostlass is part bread, so I get taken down way into the red. But thankfully, at the last moment, the toaster pops up, and I Shadow Ball just to get some damage on it. But unfortunately, he thinks that I'm not done enough, so he sticks me back down into the toaster, and I get burnt to a crisp. Whew. So I decided to send out Intimidate, which is actually from Jimmy, and yeah, I don't know why, but I thought this thing was scarfed. Apparently it's spexed. So, yeah, that costs me later in the match. So I go for the Hydro Pump, and he brings out the best, which is apparently the worst, because it gets a critical hit against it. And, yeah. He decides to bring out the Emo, because he knows that I can't hit it, and the Emo decides to try and cut me with, an Ace card in the air, I guess. And he decides to Quake the Earth, because he can do that, and I wasn't really thinking about what this thing had for a set. And I could have endured and gotten a Salic boost, but, yeah. So I decided to bring out something that's kind of paradoxical in his name because it has no eyes, and he brings out something to copy its ability. And it's Earth Power, which it doesn't even have. So he Psychics to try and take down my sub, but the sub's not going to die. So I charge and fire my laser at him because that's just what I do. And I get the special attack raise, so things are looking good. We're eating apples, having a good time, and he finally breaks my sub with the second Psychic, and I decide to just go for an Icy Wind, but she doesn't seem too affected by it. Of course, it's Gardevoirs, and it's a female, so, yeah, I'm not going there. I decided to set up another substitute to hide from the fire in World of Warcraft and whatnot, and so he decides to bring out an Invitation, which I have no idea what that is, but I invite him to eat some cold air, and that causes his production of ATP to go down, his metabolic rate to go down, and everything, so he loses speed. And he's not even Reptile. So he eats some apples with his existent mouth, and I eat them with my non-existent mouth, and I decide to Charge Beam him again, and I get another special attack raise. So he gets mad about that and kicks me 3 times, but he doesn't have Technician, so it doesn't break my sub until the last one. So, yeah. I eat some more apple, he eats some more apple, we're having a good time, and I'm still wondering where my mouth is. So I send more Icy Wind at him just to spite him and make him cold and whatnot, and he decides to kick me again because he doesn't like cold air. And he only hits me 2 times that time because he's so cold he can't get close to me. So we eat some more apples, and I set up another sub, but he predicts that and goes for a Stone Edge, which is obviously going to break my sub. I wanted to eat it too. So I ate some more apples because I don't have a sub anymore, and now I'm really hungry. So I decided to charge more beams at him because I can do that. And he decides to go for a Toxic, so it probably would have been a good move for me to just set up another substitute, but I didn't think it was really that important. So now I have a PlayStation, and I'm logged into the PSN network, and I decided to send more Icy Wind at it because the PlayStation 3 has to be kept really cool. So he decides that I need to get taken down, and the only way to guarantee that is by sending out a toaster. And everybody knows what happens when the PS3 overheats. So he decides to make it so it overheats, and logs me off of the PSN network, and my PS3 overheats, and now I'm really mad. So I decided to send out Intimidate, but, yeah, this is where I found out that it wasn't scarfed. So he decides not only to overheat my PlayStation 3, but he decides to overheat my Intimidate. So it goes down too because, well, it's not even a game console, but whatever. So I tell him to suck it and bring out Suck It Tongue, but he decides to go back out to Earth Power. And I wish because I don't know, I kind of was hoping that I could give more of a good battle here. He decides to Will-O-Wisp me as I decide to Fire Punch him, but seeing how little that does, you definitely know that this thing is a tank and not an attacker. And I'm sure the burn didn't really help. So he psychics me and does some mind tricks as I heal bell because I don't like being burned. And now I'm going to eat some more apples and go for another wish after I get hit by another psychic. He tries reading my mind, and apparently Suckatongue just can't take it. So I wish because I need to go into my last guy in any hopes to take this thing down. So I bring out my Zangief, and he psychics, and I don't like the fact that he's going into my mind, but I live on 63 HP and get my wish. And you know, if we could both just wish, I don't see why we can't just wish to win the game and have it happen. But I decide to return the favor, and he lives. So he decides to return the favor again and addicts me into World of Warcraft or something. I don't know. I don't really feel good stealing Banana's joke. So I decided to return the favor because I don't like the free subscription thingy, and yeah, I get hurt by my burn, and he brings out an emo. And I'm like, oh god, Nemo. So I decided to go back out into Suckatongue to try and get rid of my burn. But it's not like it matters because I'm not going to live another hit. And I'm not faster, so... Oh well, that's just the way things happen, I guess. So in the last attempt, I decided to bring out my Zangief. And he's faster, so... Oh well. Good game, XSquareStickit X. SquareStickit, yeah. I don't know, I want to keep adding another X.